Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the latest issue of the Ghostlight Social, the show where we bring creative people together. We have a bit of a natter, we have a bit of a laugh.
How are you feeling? Are you over the worst of it? How's it going?
I'm over it. That's all good. Although yesterday I resumed work in my muggle job in social care.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So this morning I've been probably talking myself into a little bit of it. But I've been a little bit kind of, my head hurts. But then I need to remember that I've had 12 hours sleep in about 4 days. And that I ate a shitload of sugar this morning. So that's probably why.
Why have you only had 12 hours sleep? I thought you were sleeping.
Baby. And just not wanting to go to bed.
Okay. Shall we introduce our guest?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's get on with it. We're very, very lucky to have with us this evening. I've been waiting a long time for both of these chats. They've come at once, which is always wonderful. The absolutely amazingly beautiful James Redmond is with us, and the absolutely amazingly beautiful Rosina Carbone. Welcome both.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're painting your nails, aren't you?
I am. Can you see that? I haven't got my glasses on.
You can just see that in the corner.
I'm so sorry. Because I was listening, but I was concentrating as well. I was just painting my nails.
That's fine.
I know that your days are full of, lots of creativity that you don't have time to do that. So
Exactly.
Got to find the opportunity.
Exactly.
How are we, Rosina? How are you?
I'm okay.
Well, it's lovely to see you, James. How are you?
Same, really. All things considered, still alive. And still hopeful that this will end at some point and we'll get some work. So trying my best to stay chipper. Yeah.
Everything feels a bit Groundhog Day-y.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's fine. I'm really lucky. We have got a house that's got a garden. I'm really lucky. I'm well. I think like everybody, at some point you do think, oh my God, I think I've had it. But it generally is a hangover that I'm and honestly, one time I woke up and I was like, oh my God, my head, I've definitely got it. I feel sick. And the next morning I was fine. And I was like, thank God it was a hangover. I generally get dressed just from the waist up because I'm on the computer all the time now, with Zooms and FaceTimes and things like that. So you just have to remember, if you have to get up to go and get something, that you're either just in your pants or your pajama bottoms.
Well, genuinely, you are both looking very well. Without this, I probably would have gone stir crazy. Because at least it's something to look forward to that's different, that's just, and talking to people, and it's a virtual hug. Yeah,
that's a lovely way of saying it. Yeah, that it is. I was thinking about it today, you doing this, and I just thought it probably, it gives you a purpose in life.
Oh, thank you. Just me. It just gives, God bless you, Lee, it gives you a purpose.
Finally found a purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's crack on. A song for our playlist. James, can I ask you first?
Well, it'll be no surprise to you, Lee, that I have chosen a song that you know very well from sharing digs with me. I may have played it over 100 times in the week that we were together. And it is, I think, the greatest number one single in the UK ever. Ghost Town by the Specials.
Yeah.
I'd already, you know what? I'd already written down Specials.
I've just moved in with my girlfriend and I got on the tube with my suitcase full of stuff. And I got there and I had to take a photograph. There was nobody there. 8 p.m. on a Friday. I was the only person on the tube platform. And just walking around, it was like a ghost town. All the clubs had been closed down. It just felt like that lyric, You know what it's like when you come down for auditions, I'm sure, and work, you're sort of rammed in with someone's armpit in your face and you're being pushed onto a train that's chock-a-block. And it was dead everywhere. Just crazy.
Rosina, what have you got for us?
Well, it would be like a song that I would have as my first dance at my wedding, which would be Gang Bang by Black Lace. I would love to do that though. Going back, the song that I've chosen at the
Oh,
bottom.
you haven't actually gone for Gang Bang Bang.
No,
Oh,
I
I was excited about that. Okay, all right, fine. Go on then.
Well, you can have that one if you want, but the one that I was thinking because of this particular time, I'm just looking over there because that's my garden. At the bottom of the garden, there's this little boy who
Let him go home.
their garden backs onto ours, and they've got a big trampoline there, and he's always in the trampoline bouncing, and he sings "I'm Still Standing" by Elton John.
Oh,
I hear it so much.
oh,
I love it. And I go out in the garden and I'm pottering around and he'll see me and go, Rose! But and I just sometimes just hide and listen to him singing. So I've got to choose that one.
yeah.
He shouts me to come over because
I see.
we've only just moved we moved in just before Christmas, and I would go into the garden and, you know, we started chatting over the fence, and he's the sweetest little boy. He's 5 now. And he would say to me, you know, maybe we can go on play dates. And I'd say, I think maybe I'm a bit too old for a play date. No, it's fine. Why don't we meet here after breakfast and we can go BMXing?
I like the cut of his jib.
Lovely.
So I had to kind of introduce myself to his parents because I was very scared. Start talking about this girl at the bottom of the garden that was going to go on a play date with him. So
Are you just in your pants? Is that you naked from the waist down when you're having these conversations with him?
Yeah, absolutely, all the time now. So, but there's a fence.
Oh, sure.
So, you know, it's safe.
He is on a trampoline, though, to be fair. It's lovely. There are no words. No words.
Either that or gangbang.
So, yeah, specials Ghost Town and I'm Still Standing. Elton John. Yes, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, most coronavirus thing you've done?
Completed the whole of Netflix.
Yeah.
I've done that with Pornhub, I think.
On the end of week 3, I bought a hair dye. I've not used it yet. I've just invested in headscarves and things that I tie in my hair. I feel like I've shrunk all my clothes because nothing fits me quite as well as it did.
That's happening a lot. I think there's a lot of clothes.
I think my washing machine is broken.
Yeah.
I don't know. We kind of have like Sunday dinners on a Tuesday.
Yeah,
you know, there's no rules anymore. No. That's it. I dress from the waist up, and that's
it. Fair enough. Okay, James.
Well, one's good, one's bad. The first one, the bad one, is I think arguing a lot with my partner over nothing at all, really. Just because, you know, you're stuck together 24/7, aren't you? You know, and she's pregnant, so she's full of hormones and all that, lacking sleep. So, you know, she does still love me, she says, but she can't stand the sight, smell, or sound of me. So will not touch me, you know. So that's basically it.
Yeah.
But we do realise that it's just the situation. It's not always my fault.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I go out running, and what I like doing is hiding behind bushes and then running out up behind pedestrians, shouting, "Come on, guys, 2 meters!" Which I find.
You do that as well, don't you?
I've started growing things.
Like fungus.
I've been growing food.
Ah.
It's so exciting. Yeah. And
Is that it? You're gonna, what kind of food?
Oh, food to eat. Like
Oh, that kind of food.
Not just to look at or draw.
Sorry. Yeah.
We've had lots of lettuce and cress and spinach, and that keeps coming back. And I've got my potatoes in, and leeks and carrots and courgettes, and you know.
Pretty good.
So is this a little plot in the garden, or what?
Yeah. So I just said to Rich, look, let's just dig an area, and I'll get loads of seeds, and yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And I've devised like an obstacle course over it to stop the squirrels and foxes and cats and all the other animals that come into the garden to dig up where I've put my little seeds and seedlings. So because the builders haven't finished, they've left a load of stuff. So I've got ladders over and tables and nets and it's quite a thing of beauty. You know how you were talking about this for you has kept you sane. Well, going out and being able to do stuff like that, and even if it's just a bit of weeding or whatever, it just. And sometimes I can just stare at something for hours and not realise. And Rich will say to me later, "What were you looking at?" And I'll just go, "Just the leaves." And it's like an hour later, and I'm just, especially if the sun. Sometimes I'll just sit in a patch of sun and stare, and then it's time to make dinner or whatever. But it's nice. I feel very fortunate.
That's really, really good. Can I make a suggestion?
Okay.
You said your house wasn't finished.
Yeah.
Maybe
finish it.
Your house. Stop staring at shit and do some painting.
Yeah. Oh, we adopted a cat as well.
Okay. What?
On the Monday. No. On the Monday that they announced the lockdown, the RSPCA brought the cat over because they knew that lockdown was coming, and then there was going to be all these animals that were left. And we got the cat on the Monday of lockdown. So she's been with us for nearly 2 months. Is it now? I've lost track. 8 weeks. She's very, very timid because she's had a horrible start in life, but she's going to be loved now. And
not going to be. Presumably she already is.
She's extremely loved. She's beautiful. She's like a little black cat, and the RSPCA woman said quite often black cats are just abandoned or left, because originally it was like people were superstitious and didn't like black cats, but now it's more that they don't look good on selfies.
Really?
So she is going back when lockdown is.
Wow, fair enough. Fair enough. James, creative-wise, how have you been keeping yourself busy?
I think I've done 4. This is the 4th podcast I've done, which I've looked forward to each time. They've been good fun. Talking about myself is great fun. I've enjoyed that. I'm a member of the Actors Centre in London, and I've been doing I've done 1 so far, I shouldn't say some, online acting workshops, where they email you a scene on a Monday and you learn it. So one of those guys, Daniel Dresner, who's very good, Strasbourg-trained actor in his 50s, brilliant he is, published author. He does one online. So I did one of those, but it was still great fun, and I was able to get feedback from him, and you're still on camera, so it's not that different from being in the room. And it's just good to keep, the muscles working and shake the rust off a bit.
What's your vice during lockdown?
I'm not a drinker, as you probably know. I don't really drink much, but I did buy some rum a few days ago after an argument. Right, I'm having a drink.
How did that turn out?
It didn't go well. 2 drinks, I was charming and funny. 3 drinks, I was argumentative, and I didn't enjoy losing an 80s pop quiz on YouTube to Sarah, and I stormed off. But, but I'm not sure. You're just being a bit serious for a minute. It's not a vice, is it? But exercise is, I have to have that. That's what I'm kind of using it as a crutch, really, because I find if I miss 3 days, I'm just unbearable, just depressed and negative, and isn't the world terrible? And I've got no income, and what are we going to do? I've got a baby on the way, all that. Whereas if I exercise just every other day, I feel better. And my shrink years ago said, well, you're lucky that, that when you wake up in the morning, if you're feeling down, you can say, well, what's changed since I went to bed? Nothing. There's no news come through about, illness in the family. You haven't lost your job, your relationship. It's just chemical. So just force yourself to go out for a jog or even a walk, get some fresh air in your lungs, and, you'll feel better, So I'm lucky that I can do that even in this situation.
Fair enough. Exercise is absolutely legitimate. Yeah. Did you do a lot of new training for the full Monty?
I did. Yeah. I mean, I'd always sort of used the gym a bit. I hadn't done much cardio stuff, but as you know, I played Guy in the play of the full Monty, and I had lines, where I had to say, don't worry, lads. I'll but in a northern accent, I'll take you down the gym, and all this kind of stuff. And I had to be, eager to take my top off and sort of prance about. And that was tricky for me, someone who was teased at school for being so thin. So I had to, as I had to sort of force myself to go to the gym, and avoid so many foods that made me bloated, but I felt great. I felt really happy, and I was avoiding the booze, and I really loved that tour. It's not just about looking good, or no one else notices. You feel that you look better, but it's the endorphins. I just feel happier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They should prescribe exercise or gym memberships or something like that for people who suffer, and go to the doctors and end up being given tablets, which is fine, and that works for some people. But I think exercise, I think you're absolutely right, because it lifts your mood. And it is a pain sometimes. You just think, oh, I cannot be bothered. I can't be bothered. And you force yourself and you go, oh, God, I feel so good.
Yeah.
I think they do prescribe it, though, don't they?
Do they?
I think so.
Oh, that was my idea.
Yeah. What we should say as a sort of caveat is that apparently there are two different types of depression. There's this nature and nurture, and people listening to this might think, but you haven't suffered this terrible thing that I suffered, and I haven't. I've been very lucky, So if you've suffered a big trauma, then that's another reason to feel down and depressed. But I've got the other one, which is just chemical. So I'm lucky that I can remedy it with a bit of exercise and avoiding drink and drugs,
Rosina, what has your vice been?
Well, I've started taking hard drugs because I thought,
where are you getting them from?
Dealers are still open.
It's just outside on the street.
I see mopeds coming up and down my street all the time.
Fair enough.
I probably started drinking a lot more than I would normally drink, because it was like every day was a weekend. It wasn't because normally I would maybe have a few drinks on a weekend, but and I had to actually stop doing that because it made me feel a bit shit. So and I try and do exercise because it does make me feel better and happier and makes my mood better.
It's hard, isn't it? Because the problem is that 2 drinks is normally fine and you feel great, but then the decision of whether I should have a third or not you have to make it then, and you're pissed at that point, so you make the wrong decision.
Yeah. And the sun's out and it's like, oh, I'm on my holidays. And
it's 10 a.m. and you're thinking, shall I have that third drink? I've got the whole day to go. How many units of alcohol have you had in the last 48 hours, Rosina?
Well, bearing in mind it's been the weekend.
No, there's no bearing in mind. There's no weekend anymore.
There is, and it was VE day, and he nearly called it VD day, and that was ridiculous because we got messages from the neighbours saying, "Are you coming out on the doorstep to have some prosecco?" At 3 o'clock. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and then because it's 3 o'clock and it's a nice day, the bottle's gone. It's just. So I don't know how many units are in a bottle. How many units are there in a bottle?
Let's start with how many bottles you had, and then we'll work backwards from there.
I would say a couple of bottles in the last.
Okay. Of prosecco.
No. Prosecco. Couple of prosecco, couple of red, and one of rosé.
No, you didn't. 5 bottles of wine.
No, but there's 2 of us.
I wouldn't be able to walk after that amount of wine.
Come on.
What I'm interested in, if that's you this half of lockdown, how many would you have had the first half of lockdown?
Yeah, that half of lockdown, I didn't even manage to dress from the waist up.
How many toilet rolls do you have in the house, James?
Well, we've got bloody loads. I mean, I'm a bloke, I fold and I'm quite tight, as you probably remember. So I'll try and, I can buy a pack of 2 loo rolls and that lasts me a month at home. But I live with Sarah, who I don't know how she does it, but we sometimes get through a roll a day. And I'm guessing she makes it into some sort of, oven glove. Or, maybe she sort of, covers the whole toilet in it to avoid splashback or something. But yeah, we're getting through one a day. And so it's always on the list. I'm doing all the shopping, 24 loo rolls. Again, a bloody week. It's crazy.
Okay, Rosina, toilet roll wise?
When this was all going on and people were going crazy and you couldn't get toilet paper, we weren't that bothered really, because the toilet that we've got in this bathroom, it washes your bum.
Is it a B day as well as a?
No, because this is when we were moving house, when we were going to get a house and make a house, I said to Richard, I said, look, you decide everything. It's absolutely fine. I trust you. You've got great taste, blah, blah, blah. The only things that I want are a garden, if possible, off-road parking, because, that would be nice, and a B-day. That's all I wanted. Yeah. Because I've been brought up, my dad's Italian, and we've always had B-days as a child. We've always had B-days, and I missed a B-day so much. And anyway, so the compromise was a toilet that works as a B-day.
I understand.
What a great idea.
So it's just that
it's brilliant.
The water comes through with such ferocity that it cleans your bottom as well.
No, you have a little remote control. So when you've done whatever.
No,
yes,
you
do. Have you not seen these Japanese toilets?
You haven't got one of them.
I swear on your life. So you have a little remote control, and then so there's a button to so the nozzle comes out, and you can say how far you want it to come up, whether you want it to clean your bum or further forward if you're a lady.
That's not true.
I swear it. And
wow.
Then the temperature as well, so that's quite nice.
Really?
Yeah. And then the length of time. You've got ones that point that do this, like so the nozzle will do that, so it will go front back.
Has it got a vibrate setting?
Kind of. Honestly, my auntie had one, and it was hilarious because she went, oh, Rosina, you want to try this? And I went in and I was like, bloody hell, that's incredible. She went, I'm never off it. Anyway,
I genuinely don't know whether you're winding me up or not.
I swear, honestly, on this, I'm being truthful. The only difference is with my auntie's, she's got one that then you press another button and it dries. It's like, like the hand dryers. So it dries. Ours doesn't.
Oh,
wow.
So
doesn't.
you either just have to like shake or dab. But you see, if there was no toilet roll, then maybe get like a little flannel that would only be used for that, and then wash it.
A flannel.
I've not done that.
Have you got a his and hers flannel?
And when you have a guest, you have to say, "Don't use those."
Don't wash your face with that.
Yeah.
Oh no! Don't. When Rich first came to my mum and dad's house in the bathroom, and he dried his hands, and my mum went, "Don't use the brown towel."
The brown towel.
Why is it brown?
Jesus.
Because that was the code for the towel that was for the B-day.
Yeah. I know why you chose brown. That seems wise move.
Yeah. So
That is absolutely not what I expected, but that's impressive.
too much
Impressive.
information.
I feel educated and inspired to maybe go buy one.
Honestly, you look them up. They're incredible.
James, what was the last line that you said to an audience or to camera or to a microphone?
Well, I think it was a stand-up. I know it was a stand-up gig. What
was the last joke?
God, it's a long one. It's a long story, but I mean, the last bit was just, thank you very much. Hashtag stay safe. Please welcome back your wonderful MC. And I didn't know his name, so I just had to sort of say wonderful MC, and then he came on.
Your friend and mine.
Yeah, exactly. But that was Weston-super-Mare. Luckily, I was staying with my parents in Bristol, so I saw them on the 15th, and then the Liverpool-Everton game was cancelled the next day, and lockdown started. So I've been back in London and here since. But that was the last time. I mean, I'm pleased that I saw them, because my dad's 78 and has motor neurone disease and diabetes. Mum's 76 soon, and it's just it's more worrying about that. That's what worries me, really. I think if I got ill, I mean, even Sarah, being 6 months pregnant, she would be fine, and the baby would be fine, we think. But it's just hoping that the hospitals are back functioning in time for the birth, so her parents and mine can do all the work, afterwards.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Very important to have the parents to do the work. So just thinking about sort of gigs, and you mentioned earlier sort of auditions and things.
Yeah.
What are your hopes and fears for when we come out of this?
Well, they weren't. I mean, I was feeling very negative, because we've been told, haven't we? And every sort of bit of news says the last things that will reopen will be pubs, clubs, and theatres, and then stadia, whatever. And I do most of my work in stadia. No, in pubs and clubs, and then a bit of theatre work. Sometimes support a bigger comedian, or do a bit of theatre. But that's very, very worrying, because I've got no guaranteed income until that happens, which may not be till January. But I'm doing my first paid online stand-up gig tomorrow.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so that's starting to kick in. People are starting to realise we need to make some money. And I've been assured that I can see and hear some of the audience, and they'll be commenting and putting questions up on screen while I'm doing my 10 minutes. It's only a 10-minute set. Normally I do 25 or whatever, or 30. So that's better. And hopefully I can respond, because I'm that sort of comic who, does use interaction with the audience. So hopefully there'll be some banter that can come up, and we'll have a laugh with it. I am shitting myself. We're just hoping, aren't we, that it's going to get back to normal quickly. And it looks like, small, I don't know, skeleton crews on telly and film are more likely to be back underway soon. But theatre is a problem, but hopefully with something, a feel-good show like Full Monty, or other shows, that might drag audiences back. But that's the thing, is that, yes, they may reopen theatres and pubs and clubs, whatever, but will punters feel confident enough to go in and sit shoulder to shoulder? I was meant to be starting a sitcom this month, but that's been postponed. And I looked through my scenes, and they're only 2 and 3 handers. And I think, I come into a room and I bark information across a room, so we could probably do that quite easily. I'm not sure how they would do makeup, or how the sound guy would, mic me up. But I guess if we all have masks and stuff, it's all about testing, isn't it? If we can all be tested, or we can all, be sort of sprayed down with something and, whatever, then I can't see a problem really, because it's the vulnerable who need to be, kept away. There is one elderly gentleman in the cast, so I'm not sure how he'll do his scenes, but it's more likely to start up more promptly, isn't it, than theatre? Obviously, if we get a vaccine quickly, then everything changes. But what would you do? You'd want to test everyone every day, and quarantine those who are sick. And that obviously, you've got to stand down for 2 weeks for that person's scenes, and you've got to keep everything clean and be very careful with masks and social distancing. It can be done. I think we can do it. And as I say, I would film tomorrow, if those things were in place.
Rosina?
It would be the thing that I did for Story Swap, which was, I wrote it down because I couldn't remember. Anyway, stay safe, wash your hands. Mwah. Thanks for joining me.
Hopes and fears?
Well, I just echo what A. Rupert said, and James, that things will, I want to be positive, and things will slowly find a way back. A friend of mine who lives around the corner, she's a makeup artist, and she's already done a couple of jobs, and she's done it remotely. So she's had like Zoom. So what she's done is she's had Zoom conversations, and she's advised actors of what to do. So
themselves.
Yeah. So on ITV there was those isolation stories. So she was telling certain actors what to do and sending certain things and how to apply it, and gave them like a little tutorial. And I think she's had a couple of jobs already working like that. So
Great.
There will be ways around it. I know it seems a bit overwhelming, I'm sure, but I just have to think that we will work it out. And let's hope a vaccine is made soon.
Yeah. Favourite moments, career moments?
Like in a former life, I was a teacher. And so being able to be paid to act has just been, it's just amazing. It's like playing and having fun. So all of the jobs I've done, I've loved. But I remember once when I did Midsummer Murders, and it was one of the last ones that John Nettles did. And my mum used to watch him on Bergerac, and I would have to go to bed when that came on. I don't know if you remember Bergerac, because it was on quite late. And so I would have to go to bed. but my mum was a big fan. And so I remember when I finished filming with him, he came to say bye to me and I hugged him. And I just thought, I'm not going to let go. And when this happens, and he was so kind and nice. And I just remember as I was hugging him, I started singing the Bergerac theme tune. And he went limp in my arms. Like, you know, like when a cat catches something and they just pretend to be dead. I think he did that to me. But I just thought, this is for my mom. Yeah, so I'll choose that.
That's mental. So he either thought you were coming on to him or you were some sort of crazy woman.
I was a crazy woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, he was probably right.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
I think that's probably not the only time that's ever happened to him, though, because that theme tune, you know, it's a bit of a meme in our house to do that. So that is impressive. Before your battery dies, I did want to just mention, and I think I mentioned this the other week, that I was in a two-hander with Rosina, and one of the reviews, which was a lovely review, talked about the play and how good it was. Never mentioned me. Two-hander. Not true. No, that is absolutely true.
Do you remember when we did that on the very first night? We got a standing ovation. No, just one man standing, clapping, and we were like, "Oh my god, we're fucking brilliant! This is the first night." I was like that, standing up, and neither of us knew him, so you know it wasn't a relative.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun! I love doing that. I love doing that with you.
It was great. It was lovely, lovely. James?
Similar. I mean, it's a similar answer really to Rosina's. It's boring, isn't it, to say it, all actors do, but every job, I've enjoyed every job. If I think about one moment, there have been a few. I mean, it's great when you click with someone, isn't it? Offset and on set, and you can just really be in the moment and enjoy scenes. So I worked with Ben Hull, who played Lewis on Hollyoaks. I did that for 4 years, and we had some great two-hander scenes, which we were very inventive with, you know, altering lines and throwing bits of comedy in and whatever, props and stuff. That was just that. Those are my favourite memories, I guess. But then, you know, I've done a bit of presenting live on telly. That was, you know, a big moment. Thinking, fuck, can I do it? And I did it for a few weeks, and then got sacked. But I mean, you know, it's the feedback, isn't it? Why do you want to be an actor? You know, I think most of us have lacked affection from one or both parents as children, and we like the feedback. We like being told. That's not true, Mum. That's not true. we like being told that we're good or we're funny or something, you know, and you get that most immediately with theatre and with stand-up. So doing my biggest stand-up gigs, they were great. But if I had to choose one moment, it would be the Full Monty. Not the opening night, because I was shitting myself and I've got no memory really, because I was just...
You did that really well.
Thanks, mate. I was just having an out-of-body experience. But once I got into the groove of it, and I did... I think it was a matinee in Liverpool in front of my parents and my favourite uncle and auntie. That was lovely. And seeing them afterwards, you know, and my girlfriend came to meet us, and they were just lovely, and they didn't sleep through all of it, which was kind of them.
No, that's great. That's really great. In fact, if your auntie and uncle are anything like my auntie and uncle, they once came to see me in a play, and it was at the Stephen Joseph Theatre in Scarborough, and afterwards I met them in the bar, and my uncle sort of sidled over to me and he said, "I thought that was really, really good. You were really, really good." And then he went, "Do you get paid for that then?" Yeah, I do, yeah. Happy days. Thank you both. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been lovely to see you both. Please give my love to Sarah.
Will do.
She's doing a wonderful job. Keep telling her how much of a wonderful job she's doing, because she needs you to.
Thank you, mate. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this. It's been, you know, the highlight of the week, and you know, you're a really good interviewer.
Monday.
You know. Oh, of course, yeah. Who fucking knows what day it is? For fuck's sake.
I'll take it anyway. But good luck. Keep us posted with everything, and give my love to Richard as well.
Well,
Rosina.
my partner, the builder.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming that the builder, other than building, is still working, isn't he? Because he works.
Yeah, he's got a bit of work. The stuff that was at Media City, that's stopped now. But his other client because I'm in his edit suite at the minute, so he has got some work, thankfully. But yeah, I'll send your love.
Yeah, please do. And I hope to see you both soon on the other side of this or whatever, and at a gig or whatever it might be. Much love to both of you. Thanks very much indeed.
Very much.
Likewise. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Lee. Nice to meet you. Lovely to meet you, Rosina.
Lovely to meet you.
What we'll do.
And hey, hashtag stay safe.
Stay safe,
Oh.
guys.
Yeah, let's all do that.
see you guys.
Oh, what a couple of crackers they were.
You say that after every show.
Well, I mean, you just every week and every Monday, Wednesday we have guests coming in, and they're great.
If there's anybody around still watching, please subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps us out.
Yeah, like the video. There's a few likes gone in. Like it, subscribe it, ring the notification bell.
Back on Wednesday, 8:00, and we have Jez Willis and Alex Frost, usual place.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
YouTube.com/totally showreels.
Correct. So episode 15 on Wednesday, that is with Jez Willis as of the Utah Saints and Alex
Saints.
Frost.
Utah Saints.
And jobbing actor Alex Frost. So looking forward to that very much indeed. Thank you for watching this evening. Please subscribe, please like, all that sort of stuff. And we'll see you again on Wednesday.
Adios from the bunker. Roll credits.